Good afternoon. Hello, welcome.
Hey,
Hi, what's your name?
my name's Steven.
Hey, Steven. I'm Danielle. It's nice to meet you. And today you're here. We've got about 10 or 15 minutes to talk about something that's on your mind, kind of get to know each other, and then we can
Mm-hmm.
go from there. How does that sound?
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. So, how are you doing? What are you up to? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Um, so I guess the reason why I'm here today is because I'm feeling a lot of stress and pressure at work, and
Mhm.
I guess I'm having a bit of difficulty separating the stress from work, and I guess I'm taking it home. And all around, I'm feeling more stressed than I feel like I could be.
Okay. All right, so what I hear you saying is a lot of stress is going on.
Yeah, and I'm having a bit of difficulty separating that from home versus at work, and I think the source of the stress is from work.
From work. Okay. So I hear you're using this word stress a lot. I can definitely feel, and I can feel that from you. I understand that that's how you're feeling.
Right.
Um, what exactly, you say that it's about from work. What exactly at work? Can I ask what you do?
So, excuse me. Um, so I'm actually a Mohawk College student
Okay.
in the chemical engineering program.
Okay.
I'm right up at the end of the program, so I have relocated to Sarnia to work at Imperial Oil on my final co-op work term,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the whole year, January to December of this year, and I'm sort of getting to the end of it, and I'm really starting to feel the pressure with my projects. The expectation at work is for a co-op to finish a couple of projects to showcase their skills during the presentation at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, I'm having difficulty managing the time. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all these projects done. I just feel like an ever surmounting amount of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And the expectations, I'm not entirely sure what they are of me, and I'm just stressed about all that kind of stuff.
Right. That's certainly a lot on your plate there.
Yeah.
First, right off the bat, I want to say congratulations. You said you're at the end of your program. That you must have put a lot of hard work to get to where you are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of hard work, I guess.
So how do you feel about that? You are at the end of your program. You got this co-op. You had to relocate. That might have caused some difficulties for you, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it's difficult being away from family. I knew that when I accepted the position that that's the situation I would be in. It would be difficult, but I'm at the end of the term already, and I'm still finding it difficult. Maybe even more so than ever being away from family.
Right.
Originally being from Hamilton,
Mm-hmm.
and me being located all the way in Sarnia.
Right. And that is at on top of all of this work stress that I hear you saying that you're concerned about not being able to reach these assignments, their completion by the end of the term. Is that correct?
Yeah, more or less. Dealing with the workload's been difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you to describe that a bit more? What about it's difficult?
It's just a lot of work, and I'm not really clear on what the explicit expectation is of me. I am able to reference past co-ops projects, but it's you know every single term each co-op has a unique project, so there's only a limited amount of information I can get from looking at a previous co-op.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a little bit stuck on my own because everyone at work who's there to guide me, they have their own projects, right? And
Sure.
their projects are just as important as mine,
Right.
and I can't be consistently asking for help. So I have to sort of figure this out on my own. And just concerned if I don't finish these by the end of the term,
Mm-hmm.
what that's going to look for in terms of a recommendation,
Mm-hmm.
potential rehire at this company, which I would love to have.
Right.
So yeah, the stress I'm just not handling that well,
Right.
and I don't see any alternative solutions really.
Mm-hmm. I definitely get the impression that you're feeling the weight of this co-op term,
Mm-hmm.
and it's difficult for you. I I hear you talking a lot about not understanding your expectations and not maybe knowing how to ask for help or where to ask for help. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
It's not so much that I don't know where to ask for help. It's just I feel as though being the lowest on the ladder, I it's difficult to put into words. I feel maybe like I am not entitled to ask for help as much because I
Okay.
feel like my projects are the lowest on the ladder in terms
Okay.
of priority.
All right. I want to stop you right there because I hear a lot of you just kind of this belief that you're not good enough and you don't deserve as much time and effort as the other employees. But from what I heard, you were hired by this company as your co op term. You're there, you relocated, you're almost at the term of completing it. So, what makes you think that you're not on par with those people? You are a student, of course, we know that, but you are
Mm-hmm.
there for a reason. Why? I want to ask you why you're doubting yourself.
I guess there's no when I think about it, there's no real reason to think that. They've told me time and time again I'm part of the team. They've gone above and beyond to make me feel like I'm part of the team, but part of me deep inside says you're the lowest on the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Other people's projects are more important than yours.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bother these people with it. And I know it goes against what they're saying, but I can't help but feel that way.
Mm-hmm. So I'd like to explore that a little bit if that's okay with you.
Okay.
Okay, so it seems to me as though you have this mindset that you're just not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I would say that's more or less accurate about how I feel.
Okay. So I'd like to kind of shift the focus to how do you think your coworkers view your work? Do you think they think, oh, that's Steven, he's useless?
No, no one's ever given me that impression at all. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, I think people have gone out of their way to make me feel the opposite.
Okay.
Um, they, like I said before, they make me feel as though, and they say it all the time, I'm part of the team. They think of me, for stupid little things like taking a Tim's order. I don't get overlooked. No one misses
Mm-hmm.
me on that. They make me feel like I'm part of the team. I know this is a thing about myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's in my head.
All right. So let's try because I can hear from what you're saying that you believe that your coworkers don't believe this about yourself. So it's just
Hmm.
you, right? It's just you, Steven, that's feeling this way. So,
I suppose yes.
so how can we shift that mindset so that instead of thinking I'm not good enough, we can think I do deserve to be here and I've worked hard to be here. What I'm going to ask you, what's a phrase that you could say to yourself to kind of feel that way?
Um, I suppose I could think about remember what you just said. They hired me to be a part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
They've assigned me this work because they think I'm capable of completing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess deep down, I do feel like I'm capable of completing it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess maybe just step out of my comfort zone a little bit and ask for help and sort of think maybe I'll think back later on in the future to this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
They did hire me and they assigned this work to me because they think I'm capable.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
I guess I never really deconstructed it and thought of it like that.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
it is difficult to kind of reframe our thoughts when we have these negative thoughts and try and change it for the positive. But
Mm-hmm.
try and remember what you just said to yourself that I am here for a reason. I've worked hard to get where I am, and I am a part of the team. Therefore, my work is valid.
Right. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm often told at work, like, if you're able to come to a conclusion about these studies, and I won't go really too much into details about what the studies are. I don't know if I really can actually. Um, they say that my projects, if I'm able to reach a conclusion, will bring value to the value chain.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that sort of contradicts a little bit what I'm thinking in my head, but it's so easy to get wrapped up in your own thoughts.
Of course. All right, so we've talked about kind of reframing those thoughts to positives. So
Mm-hmm.
you were discussing that you came here today because you were having a lot of stress at work and you kind of are worried about meeting expectations in time.
Right.
Right. So, what do you think, like, what would you like to happen in the most
Um,
ideal world for yourself?
if I could have one thing to make things easier, I guess a little more guidance from my mentor at work and other coworkers at work,
Mm-hmm.
people who are sort of my auxiliary contacts for the projects.
Okay.
I guess I know they exist for a reason, and I'm supposed to ask them questions, but um, it's easier said than done. I guess if I could have something, it would be a little bit more guidance,
Okay.
maybe a little bit more clear expectation explicitly about what I'm supposed to do
Mm-hmm.
and what they're expecting out of my projects.
All right. So, you know exactly what you want from the situation. So, how do you get there? What are a few ways that we may be able to try, that you may be able to try, um, that will be able to get you to that ideal circumstance you just outlined for me?
I guess if there's one thing I'm going to take away from the counseling session will be to understand that I am valuable at work
Mm-hmm.
and there's a reason why I was hired, and I'm allowed to ask for help with these auxiliary contacts for my projects.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can remember that while I'm at work and actually in this situation, I should just ask for a bit of guidance.
Right.
And a little bit of guidance I think will help me
Mm-hmm.
um, reach the conclusion that I want for my projects.
Mm-hmm. And so you spoke about believing yourself a bit more so that you're able to reach out for that guidance,
Right.
correct? So
Yeah.
let's kind of weigh the positives and negatives of what reaching out may look like for you.
Right.
So what are the pros of reaching out for guidance?
Well, the pros are clearly if I ask the contacts for my projects, I'll get an answer for all the questions that I want, and I guess ideally that would lead to less stress.
Mm-hmm.
A more explicit outline of what they're expecting
Right.
will, you know, give me more clarity.
Okay. And tell me what the cons of reaching out for guidance might show you.
Uh, I guess I can't really think of any.
Okay.
There's, I guess there's not really any cons. I never really thought about it like this.
Okay. All right. So you would like to have more clear instructions of your expectations at work. And you
Yes.
outlined one way you could do that is by reaching out for some guidance. What is a second way you might be able to get that outcome?
Um, I'm not really sure. I think honestly, all I have to do is um, sort of get past my fear and ask.
Mm-hmm.
I need to realize that there's no real difference between myself and another member of the team.
Mm-hmm.
I should be able to ask people for these things.
Definitely.
Um, yeah, I think just contacting someone and getting a clear outline will help me.
It sounds like you feel really confident about that. That just before when you walked into the counseling session today, you kind of seemed very down on yourself, very stressed, and really didn't feel like you had a place at your work. And just now, in
Right,
talking through that problem with you, sorry, I can see that you're able to sit and work it out slowly in your head, right?
right. Yeah, it's it's
Weighing,
it's really easy to get caught up in your own thoughts,
of course, yeah.
and build up a problem that maybe is only a small problem or even
Mm-hmm.
doesn't exist in your head.
Yeah, and
Um,
I'd like to pay attention to those negative thoughts that you're talking about that build up. They
mhm.
do always have a source to them. I'd like to think that they always have a positive intention behind the negative thought. Although it presents as negative, there's something
Right.
that is positive behind it.
Mhm.
So you're stressed about not meeting expectations and not doing well at work. What do you think the positive thought behind that negative thought could be?
I would say probably I want to come off as a competent and diligent worker.
Mm-hmm.
I want to prove to everyone that I can do these things.
Right.
Because deep down, I believe I can do these things, and I am capable of,
Mm-hmm.
um, completing these projects, or else
Yeah.
maybe I would never have got hired in the first place.
Exactly. Stephen, that's so awesome to hear. You a completely different person from coming in here. I
Yeah,
hear that confidence in your voice.
thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we talked about reaching out for guidance. When do you think that or when or how do you think you're going to be able to actually put that into place in your life?
So tomorrow I have a meeting with my mentor at work, and
Okay.
it's a biweekly meeting where we talk about things that I'm struggling with, things
Mm-hmm.
that I feel good about, mostly just like a touch base to see where things are.
Right.
I think and it's always a nice open atmosphere, but I've always been a little bit reluctant. But sort of now that we've talked about it and broke it down, my thought process, I think tomorrow I would might feel confident enough to ask for some clarity.
Mm-hmm. All right, that
So
feels
I think
great.
maybe that's the right choice.
Yeah. All right, so tomorrow you're gonna try and reach out for that connection with a coworker who might be able to help you out.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try.
Okay, awesome. I'm so glad to hear, Stephen. So that's all the time that we have for today. And I hope that maybe next week we can meet up again and I can hear about how you're doing at work.
Okay, that might be nice. Thanks.
All right, awesome. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.